If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? There's so many times that we talk about vision and we don't have a clue of what we're going to do. Well, today we're going to jump in how you can create a purposeful life that you're going to absolutely love. I am Dr. Chonta Haynes, and I have some questions for you today. So let's just start with this one. Well, in Habakkuk 2 and 2, it tells us to write the vision and make it plain so that we can run with it. But if you don't know what the vision is, how are you going to run? How can you make it plain? How can you make it clear? Well, it also tells us that where there is no vision, the people perish. That means they cast off all restraints. And if that is true, we end up living a life that other people have designed for us or one that really wasn't on purpose. And no shade. I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just talking about some realizations that I've had. And I want to take you on a journey with me so that we can then live this intentional, purpose filled, divinely aligned life that you're going to absolutely love. And I've got some great tips for you today. I wrote them down. I've got plenty. I want to make sure that you get them all. So, has your life been lived intentionally? Or are you just kind of muddling through? Are you ready to break free and actually have joy, fulfillment, and passion in everything that you do? Oh, I'm sure you're absolutely ready because I'm absolutely ready for you. Let's do this together. All right. So I'm going to start with the fact that we hear these sayings and I kind of chuckle when I say them, but I'm not laughing at you. We're laughing together, right? And some people say, I'm just stuck like Chuck. If you're stuck like Chuck, that means you're stuck in your past and you're not really going forward. I'm going to talk about that too today. We might say that I'm West Paul Bennett. I ain't in it. That means I'm really not living my life, right? But then I add, we can be snapping and making it happen. How's that? Is that better? I think so. All right. Well, we're going to talk about both being personally as well as professionally. When we have a vision that is amazing, then we're going to have an amazing life. I know you don't like mediocrity. I don't. And if you're ready to break free from mediocrity, both professionally and personally, then this is a video for you. I've got plenty. Get your pencils and pens ready. Let's start with the professional side. Why don't we? That's because the personal side is way too juicy. So you got to stick around for that. But professionally, if we are stuck like Chuck, living in the past, then our business might be stalling. It might be unfulfilled in it. We might not be moving forward. We might be playing small. Yeah. Guess what? I felt that. I'm doing something this year that I hadn't done before, and getting an executive coach, and my coach is absolutely amazing. If I told you her name, that you'd be jumping all over it. But here's what I'm saying. Professionally, sometimes we just do what others have told us to do, and we haven't really jumped in. We're living in the past. Oh, we might have had some past accomplishments, some past things that really worked out well. And, we just keep touting those same things, but we haven't had anything brand spanking new to go with it. Now, it could be that you were going through some transitioning. I got that. I feel you. That's where I have been. Several transitions and still making some moves. Queen, I know you can do that. But you don't want to just be stuck in your past. So if business is stalled and your business is feeling a little bit unfulfilled, one, you must have some SMART goals. That's, specific, measurable, attainable, result oriented or relevant for you, and time bound. Okay, you must have them and they must align with your vision. You don't want to build a ladder and put it up against the wrong wall. You want to make sure that you're going in the right direction, and that direction is the direction that God has for you, right? So you have to have these goals. If your business is stalled, you need some new goals. But in addition to that, you're going to need to, number two, break down your accomplishments to management, or your goals, the accomplishments that you want, into manageable steps. Sometimes we can have a very, very, very big goal and it seems like it's unattainable. Well, it's unattainable in its form, this limitless form. And I'm going to encourage you to dream big and to truly be limitless in it. We say the sky's the limit. Well, really, the sky is not the limit. If we can build, the Bible says that because their minds were all in one accord and their thoughts were there of whatever they wanted to achieve, they could achieve anything. So therefore, he had to confound the languages. Remember that? Well, guess what? I want you to dream big, and I'm going to encourage you a little bit later to do that. But actionable, manageable steps. Okay. Number 3, say it, say it, say it, see it, and then say it. Hey, if you want your business to be better than what it is right now, you've got to see it of where you're trying to go, and you've got to say it. You've got to put some voice to it. You have to verbalize where you want to go, what you want to do, and why. That's a whole nother story. I got so much I can tell you on that. But you need to be able to clearly articulate what it is that you're going to do, what it is that you're going to accomplish, where you're going, who you're serving, why you're serving them, what's behind it, why it matters, all of that. Just as a hint, I've got an Unleash Your Crown challenge coming up. It's a 3-day event. I'm going to post that link below. Jump on that if you're having some trouble with this. Okay. It's going to be April the 22nd through the 24th. But what if you're in the West Paul Bennett side? I ain't in it. You are doing your business. It's going well, but there's no more passion. Anybody been there? Yeah, there's no heart. Your heart is not in it. You're just doing, and it's making money for you. It's helping other people. You're seeing transformation, but your heart honestly is not there. So with that, here's what I want you to do. Get alone with God and ask him, Lord, what would you have for me? You've got great plans for me. That's what it tells me in Jeremiah 29:11. And I know they're plans for good and not for evil, to give me an expected end, to give me a hope and a future. Oh God, you've got some amazing plans. I'm not feeling it right now, but get alone with God to do that. And I'm going to tell you a story, but I'm going to wait on that. Number 2, let me say this. Identify your unique gifts, your strengths, your unique proposition. Ask God, how have you uniquely created me? What do I do differently than other people that I was created? Because there was a reason, and that reason was special. You are special. You are important for your business. There are people who are uncomfortably waiting for you to show up. They're looking for your uniqueness. They're trying to hear your voice. They're ready for that to happen. And it can't. If your heart isn't in it, you might give up. You won't be consistent. All of that. So identify your uniqueness and your differences. Remember the woman that went to Elisha and said, "Hey, my husband is dead, and the creditors are coming." He says, "What do you have in your house?" And she says, "I have nothing except a little bit of oil." Find your oil. Find your oil, sis. You got oil. I'm just telling you. You got some oil, and I want you to find it. Then find the intersection between your passion and your purpose. So far we talked about professionally, that if you are stalling in business and unfulfilled, there's 3 things that you need to do. SMART goals? Yeah. Break it down? Yeah. See it and say it. Got it? But if your heart is not in it, get alone with God. Identify your unique proposition, your uniquenesses, your differences, and then find that intersection between passion and purpose. But let me tell you a story. The reason I'm here, because I wanted you to snap it and make it happen, right? Be snapping and making it happen. That one is because recently I was asked from my executive coach, "Hey, what's your vision for your business? And I want you to go 20 years out." And I know a lot of people will talk about a vision board or what have you, but here's where I was, and I'm just being real, couch talk, right? I was supposed to dream that night a bit about where I wanted to go. And I got in bed and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to dream about this. And all I could see was my mom in rehab and me wishing that I had taken her home sooner. And maybe she would have been more vibrant, but I had no regrets about it because I know I did the very best that I could. I made the best decisions that I could. I made sure that I took care of her. I gave her everything that she needed. I was there, I was present, all of that. So it wasn't about that. But what I saw was I was still focusing on the past. I did not see a future, or I could not see where I was headed or where I was going. And that was the assignment. So I actually got in my car, drove to Fort Lauderdale because I can drive. When I'm driving, I can hear from God even more. I can talk to God even more. And in addition to that, I talk to myself. Hey, what are you looking for? As long as I don't make it my university, car is a great university time period. But I got in there, and as I was thinking through, and there's like 12 different areas, if you sliced your life in the pie, there are 12 different areas. And what do I want? And so I got an opportunity. I had to change the venue. I had to change the view for me so that I could get there. And so I don't want you to think that if you can't really see it right now or say it right now, that you're alone, because I was there. That's why I said, come on this journey with me. But let me just tell you, if you really want to see and make it happen, 3 things for you here too. 1, spend time dreaming and journal. I did. That trip was amazing. It was a 1 day deal, but me driving gave me the opportunity on the way to figure out exactly what I wanted to see in my business, what I wanted to happen. And then I had the opportunity to journal it a little bit later. I'm going to move this over. I had an opportunity to journal it a little bit later because I had clarity now. I had the time. So I want you to dream and I want you to journal. But then, secondly, I want you to see yourself through the eyes of the cross. Lord, what specifically is my kingdom assignment? Where would you like me to go? What would you like me to do? And I don't care if the subject is taboo, because I've got one of those too. Nobody wants to talk about biblical finance, but hey, I'm the biblical money management expert. That's because I look into God's economy in the scriptures, and I've been teaching it for 20 plus years. I didn't realize it was a taboo subject, but God gave it to me. And there are 4 books that I have out there on it and some online courses. And anyway, see yourself through the eyes of the cross and make sure you're doing your kingdom assignment. All right. So that means that you're going to adjust your crown, right? Thirdly, speak it until you see it happen. Speak it until you reach it. Okay. So that's on the professional side. Am I on this journey? I am. I'm telling you, I'm going to unleash my crown. I want you to unleash yours as well. So let me jump over to the personal side, because that personal can get a little spicy and dicey. You're absolutely right. If you are stuck like Chuck, living in the past, personally, you might be saying, I think it's over for me. I can't do any better. It's too late. Let me just tell you, first and foremost, we're going to stop right there. No shame in your game. I don't care what age you are. There's so many people in the Bible that started late, according to us. You've got Moses. You've got Sarah. You've got Abraham. You even got Caleb. You've got all of these people that said, no, I'm going to believe what God says. And it doesn't matter how old I am right now. If he said it and I haven't seen it come to pass, he's still working on it. And as long as he's still working on it, it's not dead. It's not done. I'm going to keep moving forward. So when we talk about that, no, stuck like Chuck, you might have gotten there because you just let somebody else run the life, or you just fell into the mold, if you would, that everybody else says, oh, they told you to go to school, then they told you to get a job, then you got this job because you needed to pay the bills, and you did that, but you forgot you love to dance, you forgot you love to be creative, you forgot that your mind was set on solving problems, you forgot you wanted to talk to people, and your job doesn't even allow you to do any of those things. Well, guess what? It's never too late. So all of them started late, but all of them achieved major things. Nothing is impossible with God. That's what it says in Luke. It's Gospel chapter number 1. Nothing. Remember Mary? Hey, you're going to birth the Son of God? She goes, be it unto me as you so said. I want you to say that. Be it unto me, God. As you decided from the very beginning, you knew me, you formed me in my mother's womb, you knew what I was going to be, you knew what I was going to encounter, you knew all of this. And I haven't been intentional until now, But because I want to live intentionally, mm, I have to change my mindset to realize that it's never too late. And what you've designed for me is for me. Number two, change your thoughts and change your life. Yeah, our thoughts need to change. The Bible says that the power of life and death is in the tongue. What are you saying? What are you thinking? Because what you're thinking is what you're saying. The Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So change what's in your heart. That means changing your thoughts. What am I thinking about my life? What am I thinking about me? You want to do that. All right. What if you're West Paul Bennett, you ain't in it? This one was me, okay? I was so not living in the present. I was so in the past, if you would. I remember when my first daughter was about 3 months old. I was sitting at home in an apartment, and my then husband called, and I was crying because I was watching Sisters on TV. It was a sitcom, and this was the episode where Georgie um, was having one of the other sisters' baby. She was pregnant. She was being the surrogate, and she got in an accident, and they had to use the jaws of life to open up the top of the car in order to get her out. Right, and I'm crying. I'm just boohoo crying, and so I get this phone call, and my then husband says, "Well, what's wrong with you?" I said, I just realized I'm married and I have a baby. He was like, I'm glad you figured that out. I can laugh about that now. But what was that saying? I was so far ahead of everything that I was not enjoying all the present things that were happening. I was missing them. My child was already 3 months old. Yes, I did the day-to-day functioning, but I wasn't taking the time to stop and smell the roses. I was not enjoying the life that I was living at the moment. I was not living in the present. Okay. And so that's what I'm going to challenge you to do. Slow down and smell the roses. Review how far you've come. And you're going to find out that you really have come a long way. So it's not all bad. You made it, but you can enjoy it more and be more fulfilled if you're enjoying the moment, if you feel in the moment. Appreciate where you are. But number two, then write it down and write down where you want to go. See, we've got to start looking toward the future, but you've got to appreciate the present. So if you're living in the present, you're doing that. You also need to identify where you want to go. All right. And if you want to make it happen, the third one, vision board. Yeah, that's what you're going to do. I actually have three for you here. Get a vision board, and people put pictures. You can do it from magazines. You can just write it out if you want, but you're going to make sure that you have your core values identified, because we want to make sure that we stick to those values. We're not going to let somebody take us off course. You want to know what you believe in and what you're going to stick to. Number two, 5 infallible steps of faith. I've talked about this before on a previous video. When I look at, and I've taught this in theology under principles of faith for a long time. You got to meditate on the word. That's the first step. You got to get it in your head. If you know what the promises of God are, then you can walk out as principles. But if you don't know them, you won't. But secondly, it has to be illuminated in your heart. You've got to realize it's for you. That's the second step. So not only have I meditated on the word, I've chewed it up, but I've also allowed it to be illumined in my heart. And then I'm going to pray and ask God for it. You have not because you asked not. I'm going to pay the prayer of confession. I'm confessing that this is mine. This is what I want. These are the promises that you have for me, and I want them, right? I know they're for me, but then I have to confess it. Because see, the power is going to be in my confession. I can win or lose the battle at what I say, what comes out of my mouth. Remember, I said out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So we change our thoughts. Yeah, because I know now what the word says, and I know what's for me. I prayed and asked for it, but I've got to confess it. I got to see it and say it. That's why you kept hearing me say that. Or you got to write it down and got to reach for it. Those things are important. Then I possess it, which is step 5, right? It's going to be manifested. It's going to come to fruition. So we want to make sure that we do that. And then the third one, pray, 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 pray. God, what do you have for me today? What would you like for me to do? So that's personally, professionally, and personally. on what we're doing, how you're going to have the life, a purpose, but a life that you absolutely love. Well, today, you know what? I'm just going to tell you this. What I really want you to do is I've given you 16 different things. Can I give you a 17th? The 17th thing that I want you to do is I want you to ask the right questions. There are questions that are going to align you appropriately, divinely aligned, but not just strategy. You want vision. So I'm going to invite you to sign up for Unleash the Crown Challenge. That's right. The Unleash the Crown Challenge. It's for queenpreneurs because you want alignment, you want to amplify, and you also want to accelerate your queenpreneur journey. If this is something that you have been looking for, because you've been waiting for something to come along that was going to be that intersection with your faith as well as your business, so that you have the right strategies to move forward. Oh, this is the one for you. It's a 3-day live event. I want you to get on board. Go to my website, ChontaHaynes.com/unleash. And we're going to do that. We're going to make sure that we unleash this year. So 3 days, it's April the 22nd through the 24th. I'm going to also put the link below, but make sure you go there, share it with your friends, those that you know that are not just being curious anymore. You're serious about getting this vision done. You're serious about your kingdom assignment. You're not just starting, but you want to make sure that you are purposefully moving forward toward where God has for you. Then, hey, I'm your girl, and I want to make sure that you do that. I'm Dr. Chonta Haynes with Heart to Heart Truth Ministries. I'm empowering queens just like you to reimagine, reinvent, and reframe to the next level. That's right. I'm helping you put feet to your faith so that you can walk victoriously. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your week. God bless.